Tiffany sat in the middle of the room, cross-legged, in fresh diapers. They felt clean and soft against her skin. She liked the feeling, she decided. Why had she ever resisted this? She now had her hair tied back in pigtails and was playing with a stuffed bear she had found. She was walking it across the floor, dancing it back and forth. She soon lost interest in this toy and began to crawl around the room in circles. She stopped in front of a stack of baby bottles and other foods and looked on with interest. She was hungry, and there was plenty of food here. She dug into the strained peaches, oatmeal, and bottled milk. Soon, there wasn't any departed, and she was quite full. She burped loudly and giggled at how much food she had eaten. She'd been quite a pig. Pushing the empty bottles and containers aside, she crawled around the room a few more times and frowned. There isn't anything left to do in here, she thought. She resolved to find something else and crawled toward the exit. She found herself unusually tired as she tried crawling forward and stopped. She sat again cross-legged, looking around lazily. She glanced at the sleeping mat she had passed by and rolled over onto it. She stuck her thumb in her mouth and began sucking on it, falling fast asleep. The day was finally over. Melanie smiled to herself. Everything, the whole weekend, had gone perfectly. She sat on her bed cross-legged, thick diaper bunched up at her crotch, smiling and laughing. Tomorrow would be a ball. With all the messing, wetting, and hypnosis training they had all gotten, they were probably virtually incontinent by now. She reached over to her bedstand, flicking off the lamp and crawling under her covers. Tomorrow will be great. Courtney woke up dazedly, looking around her room in the early morning light. Her clock blinked 6:03 at her in bright red digits. Time for school. She drug herself out of bed and into the shower. 20 minutes later she was drying her hair, picking out her clothes. She picked out a matching set of silk red bra and panties, a pair of form-fitting black jeans, and a light sweater. After fixing up her makeup and hair and putting on her clothes, she was downstairs for breakfast. "Morning, dear." Her mum greeted her cheerily. How was Melanie's party? Courtney frowned, trying to think of what she had done this weekend. She couldn't remember hardly anything. Everything after the golf tournament was blank. "Great," she said. "It must have been," her mum replied. "You didn't come home till last night. Your dad and I were worried, but Melanie called and said you all were spending the night. Remember to call next time, okay?" Her mum moved off into the house, leaving Courtney to eat breakfast. She ate a light breakfast and quickly got ready to leave. She was in the car and on her way by 7 o'clock. She frowned at the realization they had a big test today. She hadn't studied at all. What had she done this weekend? Tiffany sat in homeroom motionless. She watched the seconds tick by on the clock, wishing more and more for time to move by a lot faster. She pulled her coat tighter around her to try and hide what she was wearing. She had, strangely enough, found herself in her homeroom class, half an hour before the bell. Her outfit was even stranger. She grimaced outwardly as she thought about what she was wearing again. She had found herself wearing a short, pink dress. Ordinarily this wouldn't bother her, the fact that it was for a girl of about 2 years, did however. The bottom was trimmed with white, frilly lace, and it puffed out a great deal to reveal what lied beneath, several thick disposable diapers. Thankfully no one had noticed since she had been seated, only a miracle would get her out of class unnoticed, however. "Hey Tiffany," said Betty, the girl next to her. "What did you do this weekend?" "Hung around," she replied dismissively. "That's cool," Betty said, not taking the hint. "Where you going for lunch today?" Tiffany frowned as she felt her stomach loosen all of a sudden. "Lunch," she repeated. Tiffany gasped as she felt an encompassing warmth begin to spread about the back of her diapers. The worst part was it just kept coming. She looked down through her jacket to see her dress slowly spread outward as she filled her diapers to their capacity. A discreet check with her hand found them to be quite full, almost about to burst, in fact. "Are you okay?" asked Betty, visibly concerned. "I only wanted to know where you were going for lunch." Tiffany laid a messy fart this time, and began once again to mess her diapers. At this, she stood and bolted for the door. Her jacket fell off, showing her complete outfit to those who were watching. She headed straight for the girls' bathroom as she left the classroom, already fiddling with the plastic panties she was wearing over top her diapers. She had to get out of these.